still go, 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 yo, go.
Double up.
Champion!
Yes, sir. Stack Nation, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brazen.
And your boy Double O.
We're back with another one, man. We are back with another banger. Another hit. Or I just said another hit. What does that even mean?
Hey, man.
Oh, man. Double O.
You tried this time around, though.
What happened this time?
Talking about the Heat basketball team, they tried.
Oh,
They brought the Heat, but, you
dude,
know.
man. They came through the hit, but look, good effort. Good effort. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can say. Yeah. Dude, check it out, man. You know, we're all here because, well, let's not say we're all here because we want to improve the world. We don't know why everybody's here, right? But I think we can say that as a human species, one of our objectives is to try to improve, right, the world, transform the world for better.
Add value.
Exactly. This is why. Hey, Stack. Oh damn! I don't have the right shirt. It's so good. Yes, man. This is the mission. Provide value to the people, right? Whether you're providing value as a digital asset service provider, which looking forward to this field, man. This is going to be a thing, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because there has to be a way for the rest of the world to hop onto the new platform that is, or the new financial system. But I digress. Exactly. So here's the deal. When we are trying to transform the world for better, it would stand to reason that when some technologies come along that can help this process, we would want to adopt those. Scam Likely is calling me because they're trying to block me from this message right now. But you know what? Not today. The devil is a liar. You're gonna catch me today. Okay, but here's the thing, man. Technology itself, right, by definition, is designed to improve efficiency overall with everything that we do. So things should really be getting cheaper as technology improves. This means also that we should be consuming less energy as technology improves because everything becomes more efficient. Right?
Yep.
And this is why we have a lot of three-letter, organizations, right? These are people,
right?
exactly. These are the people who have taken it to their soul. They have decided this is going to be my life mission. I will not do anything else but try to make the world a better place. So the United Nations has 17 goals to transform our world, right? And
Called global goals, right?
global
Act now
goals. Global goals is what they call it. So what I would like for us to do, man, is just check out these global goals. See when the starting point. When did you guys set your goals, right? Progress report. Where are we right now with these goals? What are some things that are limiting the growth, right? And are there solutions right now that could be implemented to improve these goals? One of the most prominent pieces of technology today, I think we can all agree, is Bitcoin, right? It's the elephant in the room. So we're just going to be throwing it right in there. How can Bitcoin help with these goals, if it's possible? So let's jump right in there. So, and before we even carry on with this, I have to give credit to the SDG tracker and what is it called? It's called Our World in Data, right? Is the name of the website, and we're going to leave their link down below. But this is one of my favorite websites to go to. Go ahead.
By the way, data is the new oil, as we all know.
Oh, dude, data is currency,
everything.
Man. Data is everything, right? And these guys are collecting a lot of it, right?
Yes.
So when we look at some of these things that we talk about on the show, this is where we go. You have to get your information from a reliable source. You know what I'm saying? In a world of alternative truths, Abi. It is good to let people know. Alternative facts. There we go. It is good to let people know where they can also go find these things. And, if they have a rebuttal, then they can also show you something that you may have not seen before. Now, let's jump into the thing. We're going to be, so SDG, the SDG tracker, is measuring the progress towards the sustainable development goals, right? And so it says here, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are targets for the global development adopted in September 2015, right? It's when they kind of set their goals, as I mentioned in the beginning there. Set to be achieved by 2030.
We 10 years away?
Yeah, we are 10 years away. I would say that the timeline is aggressive, man.
How much money have we thrown at this, by the way?
Hey, dude, have they even been throwing money at the right things? Is what we'll say. But let's look at it this way. We're gonna jump in there. We're gonna look at these things, the specific things that they're trying to be throwing money at, and see how it's going, and how Bitcoin can maybe improve this situation. Right? We don't wanna assume that they have not tried Bitcoin as an option.
No,
They haven't.
no. I mean, that's the exact purpose of this show, right?
Exactly.
You did make some goals, and what are the impact of those goals over time?
Right. Exactly. So now here's the thing. We read through this before. Some of these goals really are repetitive. So we'll try to group some things as we go, right?
Yep.
So let's just I just want to take on the first 4. Right. I'll just read out the first 4 and we'll get going there. So one of the things that the United Nations Global Improvement
Number
Goal
1 on the list.
Right, exactly. Is trying to achieve. Number 1 is no more poverty. No poverty.
I've heard that before.
Exactly. Yeah, tell me about it. No poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. And number 4, quality education. Right? I would like to begin with the no poverty and zero hunger. The current situation as it is, if we're looking from 2015 to now, can you, I'm not too sure, but is there a reason why we may have not attained this goal by now? I know poverty is at an all-time low, right? Technology has definitely improved the quality of life for everyone across the board. But I think at this point in time, there should be no poverty. I agree with them in that case. But I just don't think it should be, go ahead.
So when I was saying earlier that I've heard this all before, when you look at the World Bank and you look at the IMF initiative, it's the same thing. It's the same agenda. But then having been born in Africa, knowing what's going on the continent, knowing what's going on in Asia, what's going on in South America, the question is, what is the problem? Because the poverty and the no hunger initiative doesn't seem to have been eliminated. And I think it all goes back to money, following the money. What's the objective of the money? Is the money going in there to grab resources in the disguise to end poverty or kill hunger? Because at this point, I'm not seeing it.
Well, here's the thing. When we look at things like poverty, zero hunger, right? And I'm gonna skip the good health for now. I think we can probably much more aggressively tackle the issue of hunger and no poverty by lowering the barrier of entry to the global financial system, right? So let's touch on poverty first. One of the reasons why a lot of people are poor, right, where they are right now, is because they don't have the access to the same resources as many people across the globe, right? No fault of their own. Definitely a fault of their leadership, right?
Yeah.
Because you should be trying to drive your country to the top. So and one of the ways that they've been able to maintain this level of poverty across the board is by having these gates where you cannot be approved for things. Now we're in a situation where for you to get a bank account, you have to meet these requirements and things like that just to be able to participate in the global financial system. If you use Bitcoin, I think we can see how all of this disappears right away.
Yeah, I would like to jump in there and give a really good example. So you get an IMF or a UN or a World Bank fund, a grant or a loan, and the money goes to the president, and the president sends the money to the governor or to the chiefs.
Right.
Money never gets to the people. But when you have a peer-to-peer blockchain network like Bitcoin, you can just get the money directly without it having to go through all the stovepiping, and that's where the money disappears. That is a solution right there, right away.
Absolutely. So if everyone now is able to now join this global network, then I think it would be reasonable to say that they would be able to maybe resolve their own hunger issues, no?
Yeah, Because no, I think someone else could also say, oh, we'll go the CBDC route, but then we
Okay.
don't need people tracking again your data to
Yeah.
control you, right? Which is why the Bitcoin route is the easiest transparent way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get the money, your freedom, you start getting access to that freedom to
Yeah.
now get involved in the global financial system without another enterprise controlling the way at which you create your freedom.
Yeah. Well, I think it is insane that we're negotiating for our freedoms with these people, man.
I mean,
Shouldn't
it's
be
been
that
like
way.
that since the beginning of time. I just think that
No,
we
no, no.
human
Let
beings
me,
should be
let me.
getting
Okay,
better.
let me. Maybe I should roll that back and rephrase that. I think that
Yeah.
in a point in time, in modern society,
Boom.
right, where we have so much advancement in technology and the way that we're able to interact with each
Interact with
other,
one another. Yeah.
right? We're modern human beings now, Abby.
Yeah.
Having to be going back and forth, negotiating on rights at this point in time is something that should not be even be on the forefront. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so, one of the ways to make sure that these things don't happen is to not to give any inch, man. Because once you lose the right, you don't lose the right and get it back later, right? Once it's gone, it's gone,
It's gone.
right?
Yeah.
Because the person who took it from you took it
Yeah.
because they were not trying to give you anything, and I don't think that'll be
First
changing
place.
in the future either, right?
Yeah.
Now, if this is happening, we also have good health and well-being. I think when it comes to good health and well-being, there's two things I want to point out here. Is first of all simple: stay in the gym, go to the gym, ladies and gentlemen. Life is better when you're in the gym. Why
Even
would you not want
better,
to go to the
right?
gym? Go ahead.
Even better, when you have money, right, and you're
Yeah.
not poor and you can feed yourself, isn't that already good health? We always say it's expensive to be poor, but when you got money, good
Yeah.
health usually is no longer a problem because then you can take good care of yourself. You can eat good, you can eat healthy.
Which goes back again, number 1, 2, and 3, all tied together. Resolved by
tied together,
Bitcoin.
man.
How insane
Boom.
is that, man?
Screw.
Now, if we look on the flip side, right,
Mm-hmm.
the other side where people might say this is a conspiracy theory, we know that we know that the IMF, the GPP, and all those guys.
The GoPro
Actually, no, hang on. I'm actually going to zero in on a specific situation. This past week at the World Economic Forum, Davos, right, where a bunch of 1%ers, right, decided to fly their private jets.
You want to even call that 1%? Is that the 0.01%?
Right, whatever they are, man. They are whatever they are, bro. They're just human beings at the end of the day. Listen, but these guys, right, flew their private jets to Davos and then had a convoy of cars take them to wherever they had to go, just so that they could show up on stage and tell the rest of the world, literally, to tell people who were driving cars making 30 miles per gallon or more, or even riding a bicycle, that they need to watch their carbon footprint, right? The CEO of, not the CEO of Alibaba, the president of Alibaba was there.
Yeah.
And this guy was talking about, I wish I had that video here, man. He was talking about they're working on this platform or this device, right? Where you'll be able to track your energy consumption or your carbon usage, right? How much carbon you're using into the world. And so this kind of ties back into CBDCs, man, where if you decide to walk instead of driving a car, you might get rewarded. Or if you decide to ride a bicycle instead of driving a car, you get rewarded, which, by the way, according to these guys, the way to level the wealth gap is to kind of bring everyone to a point where everyone can only just buy a bicycle. So you don't feel bad that I have a car and you have a bicycle. Insanity. Wait, what does China have to do with that one?
China has already implemented it in some states. So they just try to bring it to the rest of the global world.
True. Dude, we gotta be careful, man. The whole world is turning to China.
China's coming for us, huh?
Oh man. Okay, well, let's run through this list here real quick, dude.
Number 4, quality education. And number
Right.
5, gender equality. Since I'm in the US, I would say there are different tiers of education. And you gotta have money to really enjoy what education is really meant for. Whereas the mass majority don't really get the quality education, which is why it's like you train them to work for you in your systems. So the educations that majority of Americans get is not top tier. It's just lower tier, especially in the public system. And you need a lot of money for private school. And then you have the gender equality. Women in America, honestly, all over the world are still fighting for equal pay. I always believe
Pause,
that
pause,
if
pause, pause,
ooh,
pause. Let's roll back.
all right,
Let's roll back.
okay, education.
I think the gender gap thing is it's not the way it's painted out to be, but story for another day. I just
Okay.
carry on, sir.
Okay.
We will have that discussion another time. Let's carry on.
Yeah, because I honestly think that as a married couple, right? If
Right.
both male and female gets paid equally,
Mhm.
then you can better provide for your family. But even to the mass, if you want to go back to the African days or the Asian days, it depends on the amount of men and women in the family. If you can all gather your resources together and take care of the family as a whole, then you have a community that is well provided for, which then also solve the issue of poverty and good food. I think it's all somehow connected. It's all also all connected back to money. So gender inequality, women getting equal pay, don't dealing with the issue of your birthright in terms of
Right.
being able to keep a baby, and then making sure that both men and women can get fully educated in the right way, not to be a servant, but to be able to be your own enterprise. Which another solutions that blockchains provide. It allows you to transact without you having to go through a centralized bank to do your business, right? I can
Right.
do business with you peer to peer without having to go through a bank to approve my credit and all that nonsense. There's just so much solution. I think the future is great for this next generation if they fully adopt blockchains, specifically Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Here's I would add to this by saying this on number 4 and 5 there. When it comes to quality education, I think that there is great information out there, right? Incredible information. One incredible thing that the internet has done, and unfortunately lockdowns did, so unfortunately, fortunately, is that a bunch of teachers and professors all went online. So now we have an alarming array of extremely smart people who are just out there dropping knowledge. Now, I think having some sort of a curriculum or a qualification process on a blockchain, accessible globally, right? This would mean that your knowledge is relevant anywhere in the world. Your quality of education is of the same quality. So that's well, okay. I think that is cool. And I think these guys, this is something that they should be looking into, not Ethereum. When it comes to the gender equality situation, I mean, I would just go for the fact that if you're a man, a woman, black, white, whatever the case might be, right, you can interact with the block, with Bitcoin with no
Other people,
prejudice,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there is no need for, it's not like the traditional bank situation where they might deny you, services for one reason or another, whether it's your zip code or whatever the case might be. So I think that's
female. Yeah.
exactly. So I think
Interesting. You just say that. Like you can get a job on the blockchain without someone saying you're a male or female. Good point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, these days there are non-binary people. Anyway, let's not go down this road.
Don't go there.
Dude, I'm just all over the place today. Okay, number 6 and 7 here we have clean water and sanitation, and then we have affordable and clean energy. Double, I know you're waiting to take on this one.
I will skip number 6 because I'm not even too sure about that.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I have no answer for number 6, dude. That is something we need to clean water and sanitation.
I would just say don't buy your water with Ethereum because they can control Ethereum. Ethereum is the company. That's all I would say. Water is getting expensive. Have you seen the price of water lately? $2.99 for a bottle. I'm like,
Man.
what?
Listen, man. One of these days
Talk
when it's
about
raining,
inflation.
I'm just gonna go outside and just drink the water straight from the
From
sky.
the rain.
Yes, man. I'm good.
Oh
it's
man,
ridiculous.
but talk about number 7, double O, right? My favorite
Yes.
number, clean energy. I would say though that we've seen a lot of progress in the Bitcoin space in terms of using renewable energy and instead of using wasted energy to mine Bitcoin.
Right.
I also want to say a lot of something about energy, and the amount of energy on this planet is finite. It's not adding or reducing. It's just transforming, changing different forms. And that's the argument I want to make about Bitcoin, is that for us to be beings on this planet, there's got to be proof of work. Like, I have to grow. It's my parents' sperm, they did all the thing, and then the sperm had to do its thing. It's all consuming energy to eventually become Kenny. The same thing goes with Bitcoin. it has to go through the mining process to become this code that you can now store your value in, and then it changed different forms through either transactions, smart contracts, agreements, and so on and so forth. And I think that's where Bitcoin has value, right? You take that energy that has been mined through nature, which everything goes through that. Even Ethereum is also currently proof of work. Nobody wants to talk about that, right? Everything is proof of work on this planet. And that's what Bitcoin is. But the difference is that Bitcoin, like energy, is finite. And you can store your value, like your energy, in your body. And like unlike fiat, where you try to store your energy and it's currently being deflated, you can store your energy in something that is more protected and it's not decided by some single figure. I mean, I can keep going on and on. I'm just trying to connect the dot here for people.
Talk your shit, son. That's what I'm talking about. Let them know. Let them know what you feel about it. Hey, look, man. I agree with you, man. When it comes to affordable and clean energy, and it's like very much like you said, man. You can keep going on about this forever because even earlier, I think you were showing me like this. There was this a chart of energy consumption, right? Because this is the other thing. We're trying to also look at how far are they with these goals, even, right? This was since 2015. Are we even any closer to getting to this affordable energy yet?
Okay, yeah. All right. Good point. Let me now show this chart. I find it super, super interesting that UN, when you think of the UN, when you think of the World Bank, you think about the biggest, greatest nations on this planet, right? The US, United Kingdom, Germany, the big European countries, right? And then these are the guys that are screaming that, we need to be more energy efficient. But then we have this wonderful data provided to us by our worldinc.org.
Right.
And you realize that the biggest noisemakers are actually below. Like, how can Brazil be way better? And we know for sure. Just imagine, Brazil is currently going through a bunch of deforestation. So for Brazil to be high up there, and for them to not even be the most efficient protector of the planet,
exactly.
Then we got a problem. We know Germany is currently in the mess that they're in right now because of all the Russian oil that they are taking. United Kingdom, France, the entire Europe.
Actually, right? I think it's interesting you even bring that up because I know that. So overall, globally, right? I think they said it's about 11 to 10% of renewable energy or energy from renewable sources, only about 10 to 11%. But that was in 2019. I was going to say 2019 and 2019 at the same time. But that was in 2019, right? But ever since the situation in Ukraine, I know for sure, we all know for sure, no doubt, that this number is definitely down now because you have, what is it, like you're saying, Germany, and I think there are some other countries that are reverting to coal power for the time being.
Yes, the situation in Ukraine unraveled a lot of what has been hidden under this whole renewable energy noise. The countries that are saying that you should be a lot more efficient are actually not efficient at all. They are burning a bunch of coal and a lot of crude oil like no man's business. As a matter of fact, let me show you the table here, right? And we'll go by absolute change, right? Iceland, Denmark. They don't. This are companies with very low GDP. They're not even on top of the list. Ecuador, it's a lot more efficient.
Dang.
Than Germany, than the United Kingdom. Anybody want to talk crap about Venezuela? Venezuela is even getting better, and Venezuela is an oil producing country. Iceland is better. You know what? Let's just skip the list and go to America. Why is America on the list? Just keep scrolling, all the way at the bottom.
Jeez.
So I think the planet is in serious trouble if we want to really talk about the facts.
Look, but here's one thing I'll add, because when I looking at this here, there's two sort of things that come up in my mind. We know that definitely Brazil is, like you said, there's massive deforestation going on there, so there's definitely issues. But at the same time, they're also getting renewable. They have the most renewable sources of energy at this point in time, right? And as we spoke about this before, could it be it's because maybe their level of development was behind the United States, so like they did not go through the whole industrial revolution like the United States did, right? So now that they're essentially, how would you say? I'm looking for the right word here. Now that they're developing at a much faster rate, right, with the help of technology, they're now in this position where they are just upgrading to the newest stuff. They don't have to go through the
Legacy
stuff that polluted
systems.
the most, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Then the second piece of it would just be the fact that, look, man, they say action speaks louder than words. We see that these are people who are saying that they're trying to do all of these things, but their actions are clearly driving in the opposite direction. When you do things like fly a private jet and to go tell people that hey, you should reduce your your carbon footprint, that itself right there just kind of cancels out your message, right? So, which is just ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah, but for Brazil to be on top of that list, I'm a little concerned because that's another form of renewable where you cut down trees and then you recycle those trees and you consider that renewable energy. I don't think that's renewable, and I don't think that should be considered. But there's a sector of renewable that involves trees. So Brazil is way up there on that list. So that's
Exactly.
I know Iceland and Denmark definitely have.
Now, this is one thing. Talking about renewables, right? One thing we're trying to do is to renew the numbers on our bank account as frequently as possible, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. First of all, if you're subscribed to the channel, thank you. Man. Amazing. We are actually up to 240 subscribers now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Growing slowly but
shout out to
surely.
you. Yeah, we just have to take this moment to be like, first of all, thank you. Okay. And our numbers have been getting renewed, like you were saying there. The other thing we are trying to renew is our presence on Spotify.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on Anchor, right?
Yes,
Anchor.fm, right? I think it's /STAKK. We will leave the link to our podcast
Yes.
in the description below. And of course, listener support. If you would like to support our podcast, you can definitely go over there and check it out. We have the links in the description as well. We're excited for this one, man. Double O, we're expanding. True for us.
Anchor is anchoring us to the money so that we can make an impact.
Okay, listen, man. We have our foot to the gas pedal, and we're not letting off. Just like we'll not be letting off with this Bitcoin here that is supposed to help at number 8, right? To help with decent work and economic growth, right? Or industry innovation and infrastructure at number 9. Looking at decent work and economic growth, I just want to go straight to the point. When we talk about economic growth, right? I think one of the best things that we can do at this point in time in our civilization is to have the global economy, right, functioning collaboratively. I think this will lead to economic
value.
Store of value, right? More capital into the markets, right? More access to capital, and of course, more productivity, because there is such a huge population out there that are not able to maybe share their ideas with the world or go out there and push just because they don't have the access to the same financial systems.
You can't even compete on an equal level because of the value of your currency.
Exactly.
Imagine you working here in the US and somebody working at the same level somewhere in Asia. You don't get paid the same thing, but you put in the same amount of work. I understand the resources and the enterprises around it and all that good stuff, but I think Bitcoin allows us to level some of that gap and just we're all human beings. Give everybody an equal chance at winning. And then you want to talk about ending poverty and hunger. That's just how you do it, man. Finance currency. Not just spending money, printing money anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this is the thing, man. If you're going to school for economics, they'll probably teach you these things, except when you come out, it's not the same. Or maybe it's just Austrian School of Economics that teaches this. I mean, it's kind of tough
back
because
to the education part, right? Number 4, quality of education. What
Yeah,
kind of education
exactly.
are they getting you?
Man,
That's what I'm saying.
I think that one of the biggest problems today is actually intellectual dishonesty, is a problem, because I don't think that a lot of these people are stupid. It's just intellectual dishonesty for the sake of making profit for themselves. It's kind of like
stakeholder capitalism.
Stakeholder capitalism. Exactly. Oh,
Yeah,
that's it right there.
That's it.
Figure out what that is if you don't know yet. Stakeholder capitalism. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, so stakeholder capitalism is essentially this new term that has been flying out with the World Economic Forum. Charles, what is his name? Schwab.
Sure. Morgan Stanley's all over it now too.
Exactly. And it got to the point where they actually had to come out and apologize. But actually, we should do a video on that and just explain what that is, because we actually have something on the GPP, right?
Yeah.
So when we go to number 9 and 10, we have industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Reduce inequalities. Really, I think that ties into number 5. So that one is cancelled out, right? I think these people just wanted to cover space on the page, because there's like 4 things in here that could have been summarized into one. First of all,
I think it's the spray of the money, man. Like, you know what? You're number 10, so you get $1 million.
You think so? Oh, everyone gets paid.
Everybody gets paid.
Everyone
man.
gets paid.
That's my department.
In that case, I need a department up there, man. We need a STAKK department up on this list. We need to get STAKK to the top. This is what we need on this list.
We need clean good money. We just need the Bitcoin initiative over there.
What is
number
clean
18
good money?
Bitcoin initiative?
What is clean good money, man? Is there anything as clean good money these days? Listen, does not matter where you are, man. Even if you're at McDonald's, bro, shitty things are happening. The only way you can get clean good money, it's too late. It's too late. There is no way. Okay, there's no way. But hey, let's move on here. Sustainable cities.
I like how you went. The only way you can get good money is quiet.
Look, man, listen. This is just where the earth is right now, man. We've driven it to the far end. All we can do is just try to, limp it to the end as far as we can, man. Okay? This planet is now running on limp mode. Okay? And we just need to manage the situation. That's what I would say. Go ahead. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. I think that this kind of goes under affordable energy as well.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So that's probably someone's department too. Beautiful. Responsible consumption and production.
I think this goes back to the old inflation, deflation, demand and supply, the supply issue that we have right now, and globalization, where you intentionally move your production to China because it's cheaper. You can get the labor cheaper for free. And then, like, okay, wait a second, but we can solve all this issue if we can solve the money issue, not double spending money, limited supply of money, which allows you to say, you know what, I can manage my own production internally, pay everybody equally. And some people say, oh, that will create some inflationary impact. But the reality is that everything that we need and we want, the society has it.
Yes.
The issue is that a minority decides to keep all of it to themselves. Imagine a CEO getting 6,000+ % in income over what its employees, that make his business successful in terms of income. That is terrible. Human beings should know better than that at this point, but
we need
that's
to
not the way we want to live.
Yeah, we need to practice compassionate capitalism.
Yep.
Now, I think, is that our own term? I think that should be our own term there, compared to shareholder capitalism. You know what I mean? Dude, listen, man, Marcos, we're coming for them. I'll add this to that number 12, responsible consumption and production. Given who this information is coming from, and actually we mentioned earlier in the show about the idea of trying to track everyone's carbon usage or carbon production and taxing people for it. And so I think when you have a group of people who consider themselves to be in the position of leadership, and they're telling you they need everyone to practice responsible consumption and production, I think one of the ways that they can incentivize people to do those kinds of things is, things like carbon tax and good citizen perks and things like that, which is, the idea sounds good, but it's horrible, if you ask me. Number 13 and number 14 and number 15 is climate action for 13. 14 is life below water and life on land. I think this is all sustainability, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Multiple departments. Beautiful. I think the departments could be handled internally, though. We're writing it on the article. I guess. If you look like you're doing work, I guess you're doing work, right?
Yeah.
It's what do magicians call it? Misdirection.
Yes.
Give people more options and then confuse them. Peace, justice, and strong institutions is number 16.
I don't think peace and justice. Well, justice is an issue. I don't think peace is an issue. I think the issue with peace and is the fact that institutions are corrupted by money, and then which then also impacts justice. The human beings are peaceful beings. We just want to communicate and be around one another. But when you corrupt it, then you have the issues that we have in the justice and the institutions. For example, we were talking earlier about voting, right? And how blockchains can solve the voting issue, right? All this issue right here, we elect people in office to help us fix these things. But as a matter of fact, is that they don't fix it because we elect them there. It's the folks that put them in office. The money behind all of that is what's causing all of this not to be resolved. So peace, that's an human factor. Justice and strong institution, how do we fix that? Get money out of government. And the easiest way to get money out of government and make money more transparent and accessible is through Bitcoin.
Okay, this is not the appropriate sound for this moment, but I gotta get a Bitcoin sound.
Yeah,
but yes, I agree with you, man. Or at least maybe the government will feel like this is what Bitcoin is doing to them, right? Yanking the power away from them.
No,
absolutely.
it doesn't actually. It allows them to govern better, but it yanks the power away from the institutions that control governments.
This is now, and that's also the other piece about it. Are we really? I mean, I think we all know that we're not really in a purely democratic society.
Diplomatic,
right? A lot of these things, right? A lot of these things are influenced by money. So definitely get money out of the government. I agree with you there. That would be absolutely incredible. Now, moving on to number 17 here, and the final one: partnership for global goals. Hey, that's something.
It's like a smoking mirror, right? They put it somewhere else. It's like the framework of the global public partnership. But then you put it in number 17 all over again. Say, hey guys, don't forget about us, man. We bought this here. Just put it right there in number 17. Partnership for global for the goals.
I think it's mental, man. I think it's mind games. Like they're just trying to slowly slip it in there without you noticing.
It's good for countries to have partnerships, but what is the benefit of this partnership if it's just for the 1%ers, right? You have a lot of partnership. We know we have all this global and world or country agreements that they sign, but you don't see it dwindle down to the people. It never does.
It never does. That's for sure.
So,
and you know, now here's the thing, and before we wrap this up, because that was the final one there. One of the reasons the expected results of these projects never ever dwindle or trickle down to the people themselves. I think it's because everything is just it's incorrect. I don't even think people are looking in the right direction, because when we see things like the research that comes out to, you know, like right now we had to go look at some research to do this video, right? And even while we were doing the research for this video, there were things that I saw in there that I was like, you know, I would
ask more questions.
Exactly. I would ask more questions about that, right? It's not about saying that they're wrong or not, but it's more so the fact that this information and who it may come from may be questionable. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about here. If you look at the articles, which, you know, well, not the articles actually, there is a report, right? And this report actually influenced some of what we just showed there. The report of essentially the global state of energy improvement, right? Or how we say, a statistical review of the world energy. And this review was done by BP, right? If you know who BP is. Right? Exactly. These are the same people that are wrecking the environment at an unprecedented pace, right? These are the same people who are flying around in private jets and all of this good stuff. So they're at the front lines of seeing the damage that is possibly being done or not done to our environment. And then they hired their own researchers to come up with these reports. This report you're looking on the screen here right now is from BP. You cannot check your own homework, sir. How can I read and trust a report from the same people that are absolutely railing our environment as we know it and as they describe it to us. You can't mark your own homework, sir. It's difficult to trust that. And so I think this is one of another reason why that decentralization needs to happen, right? And everything else we've spoken about and the ways that Bitcoin can improve. How many boxes were those? I mean, granted, even if you summarize them down, you still have at least 6 boxes. That is a lot of problems that we have in the world, right? Yeah. That one thing can solve. And it's mind-blowing to me that this can be ignored.
Yeah, and there's that theory we call the power of 3.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that could be just broken down just to the power of 3 and problem solved. But then the confusion is really good because you create all these agendas and then you just confuse the crowd and the folks just don't even know where the car is going. Yeah.
Listen, man, it's divide and conquer. People need to be able to recognize it when they see it. Is what I'm saying? And I think just overall social intellect, I guess, learning how to read people. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but there is a certain skill set which everyone needs, where you're able to read the room, you're able to read beyond the lines or between the lines, right? And really take a look at things from different perspectives. I mean, even with what we're seeing here, man, I'm always open to seeing a different angle of it, right? If someone can show me a way to do my own homework and mark my own homework and grade myself, right? And for that to be trustworthy to the rest of the world, I'm open to listening to that.
Yeah, actually, I think it's a good point to even ask the audience. If you are listening to or watching what we're saying right now and you totally disagree, and you think the UN and the World Bank are doing a great job, definitely send us links. Let us know so that we can definitely talk about it. But what we're seeing from the data points right now, and we know where the money is going, it's not looking promising for our planet as it is.
Well, listen, man, I will not give up hope. I'm still very optimistic, sir. Okay. Okay, because here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. Okay. I don't want to walk away from this one feeling, down and stuff like that. Because man, because here's the thing. And for anyone watching too, I don't want you guys to walk away feeling sad. Because here's the bottom line.
We are screwed. We're going to Mars.
No. Hey, man, Elon, hurry up and fix this thing, man. Fix this jet. Trying to dip. I mean, I have my money ready for the ticket to Mars, bro. Okay. Ready to go. Here's the thing, okay? I think that this is the legacy system, okay? And the legacy system was on the rise. They were always doing their thing and winning with no resistance. Yeah. I think they're meeting resistance for the first time in the form of Bitcoin. Yeah, you understand? It is difficult to defeat something that you cannot stop. It is literally, it is just, you cannot defeat something that you cannot stop. It's just simple logic. But I'm pretty sure they will try because they have already proven that the way they think is unreasonable and very illogical, right? When you lower the price of everything, or when you revalue everything, right? Diminishing the quality of life for everybody to create a new standard of normal. Abi? I hope that made sense because I really put brain power to put that line together.
Energy.
Okay, listen. The bottom line is these people can no longer manipulate the general masses as they used to before anymore because technology is here. Everyone can see it now, right?
Decentralized media.
Decentralized media is here. This is what we're doing, right? And so I don't want you to walk away feeling down because this is the first time these people have met resistance and you cannot stop this thing. And so every time they try to stop it, it only proves the exact reason why Bitcoin needs to exist because literally you have to violate what people are fighting for you to defeat Bitcoin. You understand? And so I'm trying to figure out a world where a few elite decide to just shut it off. Dude, they could freeze everyone's bank account right now, but if we're all on the Bitcoin standard, it does not matter.
We could.
You see? This is not a physical war. This is not a war of blood. Okay? This is technology.
It's a war of spiritual. Just kidding.
Listen, spiritual Bitcoin, sir. Okay, spiritual. No, man. Listen, man. It's a war. It's a war of intellect and technology, man. That's all I can say. You know. Final thoughts, sir.
Oh man, it's been a wonderful show, man. I really enjoyed this topic. I think it's good that decentralized tech media is here, and
Right.
we're able to do this. Definitely, if you like what you've listened to today, definitely like and subscribe. We got a lot more of this. We are constantly reading and studying the markets and paying attention to everything going on.
Amazing.
That is what
Yep.
STAKK is here for.
Yes, sir.
Bringing more value.
Absolutely. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you for all the new subscribers. Okay. Someone actually left a comment just saying they just came by to show some love. Jeez, I'm gonna remember the name so we can shout it out for the next episode. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But honestly, guys, thank you for subscribing. We know you don't have to, so we really appreciate you just hanging out with us, checking out the show. Right. Until next time, Brazen out.
Double O. Out.